unglaublich, wir sind auf einem echten Festival.
Herzlich willkommen zurück bei Rock am Ring. Ich bin Katrin von Morco TV und diesmal haben wir Jason von Fever. 333 is really hard to pronounce for a German person.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's really hard, so I always say just Fever.
Yeah, it's fine.
So,
yeah, that's chill. That's
so
chill.
nice to meet you.
You too.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
So how is it to be back here?
It's awesome. I love Germany. I tried to live here right before the pandemic. I tried to move to Berlin with my family, but then the pandemic stopped that. Yeah.
So in 2019, you've been here on Rock am Ring last time.
Yeah.
And do you remember that concert?
Yeah. It's one of the best shows of my life.
Are you planning to climb on that thing again?
If it's there. Yeah, I'll probably get, if it's there, yeah.
Aren't you scared?
Nah. These people, because like the thing is with rock music that I do love is someone's gonna catch you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna jump, you might fall, someone's gonna catch you. So I'm all right.
So there are many bands that are playing here today. Some of them brought new music. So what about you? Is there something coming up?
I almost put a new song in, but you know what? I want to make it all special, impactful, and deliberate. So actually, that's not true. We're playing one song we've never played before live. So that I guess that's kind of a new song, I guess.
No, all right. So you're very political. So your music is political, and there's so much going on in the world right now. So is there something in particular that keeps you up at night?
Yeah, just like trying to understand the world that my children will inhabit, you know? And how do I equip them appropriately for what they may have to endure, like, you know, without scaring them into believing this world is a scary place, you know? It's a delicate balance, but I think thus far we're doing all right. Just being super honest with my children about things that are happening. I mean, he asked me about, I don't know how he caught wind of it, but like Ukraine and Russia. He asked me about that a few weeks ago, and I gave it to him, and I try to let them know that this is how I think and what I believe, and he's 4, but it's like trying to encourage him to eventually, when those processes in the brain develop, to you know, understand it in his own way and make his own opinions. But I did tell him that in this house, there are things we do and we don't believe in, and you know, the mistreatment of humanity is something we do not believe in. So, try my best.
So many of your songs are political because, well, the political stuff going on in the world. This is something that is sometimes just the topic of your songs. So is this also something for new songs, maybe? So what's going on in the world, like the war in Ukraine, or for example, because it's right
crazy.
Now, so, it's crazy. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an overarching theme for me with this new album. It really is about. I think the last album was about what I think. Right. This is what I think and what I've observed, and here's some like practical application methods I believe we can, you know, steps we can take to change it. And this new album, I believe, is more so why I believe that. Right. Like my experience as a person of color, as a mixed race person in the world, and someone who came from poverty, and you know, really giving an explanation as to why via my own experience, and being a little more vulnerable in that way, so that it can sort of, I don't want to say validate, but it can offer explanation as to why I said what I said on the first album. Yeah.
Is it possible or do you think there might be someday a time that you write other songs, more personal, more about feelings or something, and less about politics?
Maybe.
Or community?
It really just kind of depends. Like, I guess it just depends on where I am and where I think the world is. And right now, I really think, especially for people of color, like, I really think that there's a huge misunderstanding of us as a monolith. Like, there's only, like, you know, it's a POC, and they behave and act like this, and it's culturally this sort of monolithic thing, and it's where it's not. It's so diverse and it's so spectral that I really want to make sure that I do my best to explain that, you know, as a person of color. So, especially in rock music, like really in rock music, you know, I think that we were here from the beginning, and I think that the sort of strange idea that, you know, we're so anomalous in this genre, to me is so strange. So yeah, I think there could come a time, and I think on this next album, I think I do have a song or two where I talk a little more personally, but again, it is to offer an explanation as to why I believe the things I do sociopolitically. Yeah.
Well, you are very passionate about politics, but you're also very passionate about young musicians. Why does it mean so much to you? Why is it so important to you to push other young artists?
I think that idea extends beyond just music, right? I think that if I show consideration and support for, you know, up and coming artists or those that have been marginalized or those that don't get the shine, I believe that it can sort of offer a similar approach can be offered outside of music. So I think that, again, it's not, the idea of community is more existential than it is like this specific just in music and in this industry. But it is where I exist predominantly. So I try to do it there. And I think it's important because there are so many things, myself included, like that no one would ever know about. Like no one would ever know about me if one or two people weren't like, nah, you should listen to this guy. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I mean, yeah, like I worked hard or whatever, and we all work hard, but some of my favorite bands, like no one gives a fuck about, and they're some of the greatest bands I think to have ever existed.
For example?
Dangers from Southern California. It's one of the best bands to ever exist. Like this man, again, a person of color in punk, he's a genius, his lyrics, his ferocity, his passion, the music itself. Al Brown, I love you, you know, and the band Danger. So that's just a prime example. But then, of course, all the 333 Records crew bands that I just saw and was wondering why nobody else had picked them up yet or thought maybe I could help catalyze or amplify it. So, again, that idea to me is so much more important than just in music. I just happen to do it here because it's where I exist, you know, predominantly.
So it does make you feel nostalgic, and do you think about your own beginnings also?
You're a genius. Yeah. Yes, that's it. I mean, that's truly one of the most important pieces of criteria for me to pick up a band is to see myself, and not like in a fucking megalomaniac way or egomaniacal, but like seeing the things that I remember that offered me a bit of exceptional drive. What I had, and if I see that in another band or an artist, that's like one of the most important things for me to go, okay, we should work together. Because I know that's one thing that I can at least recognize and go, well, that's what worked for me, and that's the thing that again sort of put me in a position where I could actually be something, you know. And I see it in other bands too.
So now that you know how that business works, is there something you So if you could start over new, is there something you would do different?
Yeah, I would. I would have started. That's such a good question, and it's hard, right? Because I'm here because of the business in a lot of ways, right? Like, you know, I played the game, and here I am. But ultimately, if I could start over new, I'd fucking incinerate the whole thing. I'd fucking completely abolish it. I'd stop taking advantage of artists. I'd stop exploiting people. I'd stop exploiting workers. I'd stop exploiting fucking press. And I would create a system that was way more synergistic and symbiotic so that we could all exist. People could get paid fairly. Yeah, like some people work differently or they may put more hours in. And therefore, you know, in that manner, they should make X amount more than maybe this person. That's fine. But the way that people are existing in a space where the disparity and the gap economically and also just the consideration that they get is so fucking wide that it's corporatized in a way where people almost aren't. You can't understand what it's like to be a CEO of a major label and also be the CEO of a fucking local DIY press thing, and then try to find your pathway to a successful, sustainable career without them fucking you. Like, it's just the reality. Like, they take advantage of people. It's what it is. It's a business. That's what business does. It takes advantage of people. That's what we did when we started really opening up the ideas of free market and capitalism. I mean, it's so gnarly. And so I'm not saying that I haven't benefited from it either. Like, I get things from it. Yes, I understand. But there is a better model I believe that does, in fact, yeah, maybe there won't be as many billionaires in the game or millionaires or 100 millionaires or whatever, but I believe that we can all exist in a way or coexist in a way that offers more help and offers more sustainability and offers more space for art and good people. And sorry that was such a long thing, but I think about this every fucking night. So,
But it's really interesting. And to sum this up, kind of, what would be the best advice for aspiring artists? Do you have?
Create your own everything. Create your own genre, your own label. Go with people, like-minded people, people that are passionate. Please, 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 do not start doing this thing thinking that money is the answer. Please, please, DIY, please. To this day, I'm literally in my dressing room right now. I'm playing Rock am Ring at fucking 8 o'clock at night on a big stage, and I'm seriously talking about how I can build my stage production. It's so necessary for us to remember that we are the craft. We are the things that create the things that people love and the things that people monetize and the things that people take from us and, again, exploit and create cultures and businesses out of. But if we can maintain it and if we can keep it as insular as possible with ourselves, I just think that we're going to be in a much better place. So to the new artists, I know it seems like money or accessibility is the only way, but it is certainly not. And if we create a space where people like yourselves in your same position, same art, same ethos can exist and thrive, that money, that access will come because you developed it and because you created it, not because you needed to sit and beg for it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, wow, this
Sorry.
No,
I just get
this is I think it's a really good advice.
Yeah.